Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Sunshine Shoulders is a channel that's geared toward the new man and woman who's never been to the Philippines before, but is interested in making a trip here for a slow vacation or to rejuvenate. My 11 years here doesn't make me an expert. If I ever come off as a know-it-all, I apologize, but I'm just trying to be helpful. But it does give me a unique perspective, and I like to share that with the new man and woman, or anybody really, if you can make your trip here safer and more enjoyable. I'm boots on the ground here. I'm in the middle of all this, and it's for your benefit. I'm not around the edges like a lot of these other vloggers that you see on YouTube talking about the Philippines, living in these fancy towers in Manila and Cebu. I'm going to give you the nitty gritty. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, and what I'm experiencing. I'm never going to sugarcoat that, and it's not going to start today. Enjoy my video. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Take care. Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Good morning to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good evening to my subscribers in America and beyond. And welcome to my new subscribers and new viewers. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you were able to find my channel. I'm fairly new, so I know there's no algorithms or anything involved in finding my channel. But I've got the best subscribers on YouTube, and I'll argue with anybody about that. One of my subscribers, he said, if you could do it all over again, and you could go back and talk to your 2009 self, based on what you know now, if you'd have known it then, would your trip have been different? What would you have done different? Because that can help the new man and woman right now. And I said, wow, that's a great idea. Because a lot of the topics I get, believe it or not, most of them, of course, from my experience here, but a lot of them come from my subscribers right in the comments, and this is one of them. And the first mistake that I made is I did not read the Philippine handbook. There's a handbook on the Philippines. Americans have been coming here for at least since 1899. We have a history here with the Philippines. People have come here for many, many years. They know what it takes to thrive, to be happy, to have a great time here in the Philippines. And of course, I threw all that out the window. I never did any research. I think I read one article on the Philippines. It was in a handbook. It was in a chat room. But that's all I knew. So that was the first mistake. Read something, look at a YouTube video, just any little thing that'll help you when you get over here that can benefit you. That's the first mistake I made. The second one was I booked my reservations through a travel agency, which I should have just did it myself. I was being lazy, and I ended up paying a great price for it. They booked me on Korean Airlines, which I love Korean Airlines, but they put me in the what's the name of the Crown Regency Hotel, one of the most expensive hotels here in Cebu. So just for that 1 week, because I didn't do my research, I didn't know any better. Just for 1 week, it's $2,500 US for my plane ticket and my hotel. I extended a week, which I got lucky because there was no difference between the price of the ticket from the time I was supposed to leave to a week later. So Korean Airlines let me exchange. They didn't even charge me an admin fee of $200. Normally, they didn't do that. So I extended for 1 week, and then I ended up spending money for that 1 week. So if I could go back and talk to that dummy in 2009, I would say, hey man, go ahead, go on Travelocity, go on Orbitz or one of those places, Kayak or any of those places, book your own flight, then book your hotel separate. Because the easiest thing to do in the Philippines is find a hotel, Airbnb, or a pension house to stay. So many listings, okay? The third thing I did wrong was when I arrived here in the Philippines, I did not exchange my money at the airport. Big mistake. Because what I ended up doing was giving the taxi driver a $20 bill. 4 times as much as what I should have given him, but I didn't know any better. See, best time to exchange your money The safest, more secure time is at that airport. You're not going to lose a lot of money, guys, waiting on the to go to the bank. Okay, it's going to be safe. It's going to be secure. You got armed guards. You got all those people around you. You don't have to worry about the exchange place playing tricks on you, giving you counterfeit money, doing that sleight of hand that they do, where they're counting out your money and they steadily dropping bills at the same time. There's some magicians over here. I'm warning you now. So that was the third thing I did wrong. Should have went on ahead and cashed my money there. And then, see, I bought 20s with me. Don't do that. Bring crisp $100 bills, crisp $50 bills, okay? Nothing less than that. Because if you do, they're going to examine every bill. They may not take them. All right, so that was the third thing. The fourth thing I did was, and this was probably the biggest mistake I made, was I went online before I came here and I met a woman. And it was the first time I'd ever did any online dating before. 2 months prior to this, in February, I came here in April 2009. February 2009, I went on a trip by myself to Cancun, Mexico for 10 wonderful, wonderful days, man. By myself. There was no MexicanCupid.com or nothing like that that I could meet a woman. Never even thought about that. But on that chat room I told you, where the only thing I ever read about the Philippines, a guy in there said something about, you know, if you want to come 18 hours, meet a woman first so she can show you around and blah, blah, blah. Big mistake for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because at the time I came over to the Philippines, I was in the middle of a bitter divorce. And I won't go into any details of that. I was wounded. I had no business dating anybody. Okay? And then, see, I didn't do my research, or I would have known how hospitable and welcoming and kind and warm the Filipino people were. I was in no danger over here. See, I could have just came over here by myself and did exactly what I did in Cancun. Went to the beach, went to the malls, walked around, did some sightseeing, like that. But no, he planted that seed in my head. It was a big mistake. It would have benefited her and me, because when I got over here, we were not a match, see? And the worst thing you want when you get over here in the Philippines is an angry Filipina on your hands, okay? First of all, you can't get rid of her because you've already made plans with her. She's already, you know, told her family, she's done everything. So, you know, you're up, you know what creek when you get here when you do that. Number two reason is she's not going to, 9 times out of 10, when you get over here, you're going to see somebody else. So why would you want to do that to this lady? All right. But the biggest thing for me as a new man is the money involved. See, everything is two now. See, so you could use that extra money that you're going to spend on your date, because she's going to be with you every minute of the day, everywhere you go. So if you go to the resort, it's 2 resort fees. You go to the restaurant, you're buying for 2 people. Everything is 2. You got to buy her clothes and everything, because when you meet her, she's not going to have a whole lot of stuff, okay? Then you may have to buy something for a family. It's just too early for that, guys. And then the best thing that I would have told that dummy is just come over here, you know, and don't go to the mall and meet a woman. Meet a woman at the market. At the mercado is what they call it. That's where you're going to meet the Filipina in her natural environment. You're going to catch her when she's not looking. See, that's where the spontaneity comes from. See, that's where the fun comes from. It doesn't come from the scripted stuff that you meet when you meet somebody online. It's all scripted. It's all set up when you get there. You know, you go through the motions. No. See, when you go to those resorts, when you go to those beaches, see, there's going to be Filipinas there. It's better to just meet one there if you're going to meet somebody. But what it's going to do when you meet somebody, see, it's going to bog you down. It's going to slow you down. It's going to cost you extra money, and you're not going to be able to go to a lot of places that you normally would have went to, okay? And that goes, that ties right into this last thing I would have told this dummy in 2009. Is to map you out an itinerary of places to go. It's so many places to see in the Philippines. ladies and gentlemen. It will blow your mind. This place is fast becoming one of the hottest tourist destinations on the planet because of that. You got Palawan, Boracay, Comodes Island, Siquijor Island. You've got Boracay. You've got Panglao, Bohol. You've got Bantayan Island, Malapascua. I mean, on and on. Subic Bay if you want to go up that way. And a lot of places that Glen, okay, Camigan Island. All right, but don't you know my first 2 weeks, the 2 weeks that I was here in the Philippines, I never left Cebu. Big dummy. I stayed my whole 2 weeks in Cebu. I went to Mactan, which is, you know, Cebu. That's where you land into Mactan. And we went to a resort. I forgot the name of the resort. It was nice at that time, but I think Tamboli Beach Resort. It's in Mactan. Lapu-Lapu. It's in Lapu-Lapu, which Lapu-Lapu and Mactan are connected. You're going to fly into Mactan, and Mactan's on one side, Lapu-Lapu's on one side, and then you have to cross the bridge to get to Cebu. This is in Lapu-Lapu. It was nice at that time, but I think it's closed right now for renovation or whatever. But I never left Cebu. I never saw those great places. It took me years to see those places, which I could have saw them all, at least 3 or 4 of them in my 2 weeks, because one of the most appealing things about the Philippines is the price. It's cheap over here. The flights are cheap. The bus fare is cheap. The ocean jet, which is the fast craft that takes you from island to island, is cheap. The resorts are cheap. Airbnb, cheap. I could have saw 4 or 5 of those places in that 2 weeks, but I didn't see zip, nada, none. So learn about as much about the Philippines as you can. This is what I would have told him before you get over here. Find out how hospitable, how warm and welcoming the people are. You're safe here. You don't have to have an escort to meet you at the airport. That's one thing you can do. Make your own reservations, dummy. That's what the internet is for. You're smart enough, you're bright enough, you're intelligent enough. Book your own flight. Book your own hotel reservations, okay? When you get over here, exchange your money at the airport. Don't wait, knucklehead. Do it there. It's safe, it's secure. You don't have to worry about the games they play outside that airport. You don't have to worry about getting counterfeit money. You don't have to worry about somebody robbing you, okay? Number 4, stay single as long as you can when you get over here. If you're going to meet somebody, you're going to meet them. Don't force it. Let it be spontaneous. Let it be exciting like the other things you're going to do over here. Let it be new. Don't script anything about the Philippines, guys. And the last thing is, see as much as you possibly can. It's cheap. You can afford it. All right? But, because the only thing I did right, guys, the only thing, and I don't know how I did that, is I flew into Cebu instead of Manila. That's the only thing I did right. And that's because Manila's reputation precedes itself. I didn't want to deal with that 20 million people and all of that. So once I found out that I could fly into somewhere else, it happened to be Cebu, I booked my flight for Cebu. That's the only thing I did right. So I have to pat him on the back in 2009 for doing that. But the rest of the stuff, I screwed it all up. I made every mistake you could possibly make. That's why when I tell you about, read the handbook, I didn't read it. My mistakes have become my secrets that I share with you. It's absolutely true. I'm not on here for likes and subscriptions and stuff like that. I'm here to help you. So thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Thanks to my subscriber for that topic. It's a great topic. If you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please help somebody. If you're on one of them late grocery runs, you see somebody on the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them something to eat. Give them a couple of dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. You still have the whole entire day to find somebody to help. So I don't know anything else. I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Thank you again. Stay COVID-free, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.